Our next question comes from Ron Reed over in Hot Springs Village. What would you do to reverse the 5th fastest growing state government sector out of all 50 states? What he's saying is our state growth is number 5 in the country, and we're growing at such a rate. What would you do to slow that down or rescind it?
Very good question. And when I was in the legislature, I did quite a few things. First of all, I don't want to get into the weeds because former legislators are like old high school football players. You just like retelling stories about the good old days. I don't want to bore you with that. But there was a massive expansion of state employees that went on, unfortunately, under Governor Huckabee's watch. And part of that was chart. I don't know if y'all remember this tobacco settlement money that came in, and I was arguing we ought not create new programs with it. We ought to put it in a rainy day fund. We ought to give it back to taxpayers. We ought to do anything but start new programs. And it passed, and then there was more fighting going on for years after that. The revenue was going down like expected it would go down, but the programs had started and were expanding, and we fought on that. One commitment we did get was if you pass this, you've got to decrease in other parts of the state government the amount of increase in chart programs. That was we did good. We held out long and got that concession. Bad news is, after the session ended, it was ignored, and they went ahead and did increase everybody. Another bill I had was state government cannot grow. I co-sponsored this. State government cannot grow at a rate any faster than the GDP. So if our economy is growing at 2%, and state government can only grow at 2%. We've been having year after year after year where the economy maybe not growing or growing marginally, and yet state government's growing exponentially. That bill was unfortunately defeated, but that would have put a tie on the cap on how fast government can grow. It can only grow as fast as the private sector, which is fueling it, grows. Another bill that I worked on was if we just did a hiring freeze. We don't have to fire anybody. The state of Arkansas is the #1 employer in the state. It's not Walmart, the biggest company in the world, who has offices spread out all over the world. They can run that entity with far fewer employees than the state of Arkansas runs our business. So we said, just stop. If somebody is let go or retires, just don't replace them. Through attrition, you could save hundreds of millions of dollars a year and over time decrease the number of state employees without ever having to fire anybody. Unfortunately, that was also defeated. But there are a lot of things that can be done. We have an incredibly fast-growing state government that needs to be curtailed, and those are some ideas I've worked on and I'll continue to work on if I'm fortunate enough to be elected.